All right, on to pitch shifting. For this, I'm using a vocal sample. It sounds like this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create like a harmonizer. And we will do this using an effect called ReaPitch. So we'll add an effect and we will go down here to ReaPitch, add. And this works sort of like the delay in a way because you can add multiple iterations of it that do different things. So let's start by adding a major third higher. So what this will do is it will play the sound back and it will transpose it in real time. So by whatever you determine. So for instance, you can do semitones, you can do cents, although this doesn't seem to be working all that well. And then octaves, so you can shift a whole octave up, a whole octave down. Now keep in mind that particularly with voice, things sound artificial very easily. So I'm going to go ahead and start with major third. So major third happens to be 4 semitones. So I will start with that. So what this will do now is it'll play the original sound. Let me actually add the dry. So if I have the dry and the wet together, I will hear this will represent the original sound, and this is now the transposed or pitch shifted version, a major third higher. So take a listen. Now, you might notice already that even just going up by a major third, that the sound of the transposed voice sounds very different, almost like it's a different person singing. So if I solo it, let's take a listen now. So it already sounds kind of artificial, and you can see that if I was to change this, for example, to an octave, it would sound sounds like a chipmunk. And so that's kind of a thing with the voice, is that when you simply transpose it up, it changes the quality. And so what this bottom part of the parameters do is they help you compensate for that. So the easiest way to do this is basically to find the same one. So here I have semitones, cents, and semitones, cents, and semitones again, because this is the full range, which gives you kind of a wider range. And we want to find the corresponding one. So we can say, if you shift by semitones, 4 semitones up, you can compensate by shifting the formants 4 semitones down. Take a listen now. So it sounds a lot more realistic. So let's do it again. Let's uncheck the solo active shifter and let's hear it. Okay, so that sounds, I think, a lot better. We can also move it, have it come out all the way to the left. So we have now the original sound is in the middle, and then the pitch shifted sound is all the way to the left, which is kind of a nice effect. And then what we could do is we could add a shifter. And now, just like we did with the delay, it created a duplicate. So now this isn't doing much else other than just adding more volume. And then we can now shift it to the right, and then instead of doing 4 semitones, we will do 7, which is a perfect fifth, and we will compensate here and the format shift in the opposite direction. Okay, so now we should get a triad every time. Okay, and you can add as many of these as you want. We can add one more. Let's say we want one that's an octave lower. We can do it this way, and then we compensate by going an octave higher. And we actually can leave that one in the middle. Maybe for that one, we will lower the volume a little bit, so it's kind of a little bit more in the background. So it kind of beefs up the sound a little bit. Now the thing about it is when it shifts, so you want to keep in mind, particularly if you're trying to shift like harmonically, it doesn't, it's not going to adjust based on the scale. It's not that kind of a shifter. I know some effects can do that, but not this. This will just shift a major third. So if you're sliding, if you're singing a major scale, it will harmonize that as a series of major triads. So some of the notes won't be in the major scale, in that same major scale anyway. But it's a very cool effect. Very interesting. It could be a lot of fun to do, to play around with. So that's pretty much all there is to this. You can add more shifters, not really a limit to how many you can add, and you can have fun with this. All right.